One of the things that we're going to talk about in the next little bit here on this training, this breakout, is really how to hold massive events in your office. You know, getting people engaged in what you do and your perspective, your principle on chiropractic. You know, using outside talks or inside talks is a great way to help share that principle. You know, and also too, when you're a maximized living office, you live with the 5 essentials of maximized living in mind, and that being, number one, essential number one, we're removing toxins and medications from our system. Number two, we're striving for a properly functioning nervous system. Okay.
Hi Joel, hi BJ.
Let's talk about the Thanks. So, number three, we need good nutrients, good healthy nutrients. Number four, oxygen. And number five, removing stress and creating more peace in our life, right? Healthy relationships. So, we always talk to our patients about those 5 essentials. Really obviously focusing on the nervous system part of it. But it's important. I just don't want to see patients come into my office and adjust them and correct curves in their spine, and then have them go home and eating hamburgers and fries and lying on the couch with their, only getting their thumb exercised on the remote control. That's not my goal for good health, and that hopefully should not be their goal for good health, because obviously that doesn't lead to a healthy, conducive, lifestyle. So we want to help train them and help them to understand what they need to do at home to get the best results with their health. So that's why we do so many inside talks and outside events and so on to help them to understand those principles. So it's interesting. How many people do outside or do inside talks, advanced talks? Most of you do. Good. The toughest thing is really loading those talks up, isn't it? Would you agree? Like getting the room full. And so, we got to the point where it was kind of a struggle sometimes, getting a lot of people to your inside talks, or even if you wanted to get a room such as this, getting people there to fill it up. If you committed to the fact that, hey, we want to get an inside talk, and in my office, most we could fit in there is maybe 40 people if we move the tables aside and set up chairs and everything. And so, we want to get a massive talk. We have a lot of people in our office. There's a lot of people that should be at the talks. We want to make sure that we have room for them, and set this up so they can bring guests and family and outside people. So, so we go and commit to an outside hall or something, and that would be a real struggle to fill the hall up. After you're committed financially to go get the hall. So then we started, it was actually another chiropractor at Maximized Living started having the dinners. It was actually Tim Westlack. And I listened to Tim the first couple times he did it. And he said, yeah, we used to start having these community appreciation dinners, and they really worked out well. And we'd get 30 or 40 people there. And I thought, wow, at that point, 30 or 40 people. We did the 3-day process with the PADs. You guys have all done that, right? And so at a PAD, sometimes you'd have 10, 15, 20 patients, which would be a big patient appreciation dinner. And you'd share with them your thoughts and whatnot about the office. And sometimes, if you got, it would be a warm, fuzzy time for us in the office to bond with our patients. But again, you're not really sharing any of the principles with them. You're not really sharing that message. You're not there to do a talk for them. So again, it was kind of frustrating. So we kind of put it all together and thought we can really make this thing grow by getting these people in, feeding them, and then doing an advanced talk at the same time. And so they're there for free food. You buy them dinner and bring them in and do a real kick-ass, advanced talk. And so the first thing really is getting a topic that everybody's going to be interested in. So we sat down, we sat on a bunch of topics, and worked with my staff and my colleagues and whatnot. And we tried to figure out some good titles for talks. I figured that the big diseases were the best ones. Cancer talk. We wanted to do the 5 essentials of maximized living. How to have a healthy immune system. We're building a titanium immune system. And then in February, being Heart Month and Valentine's Day, and typically that's Heart and Stroke Month, we thought, okay, we're going to do a heart talk. So we just set it up, the fact that we're doing this heart talk, and so we had, it was a great amount of information, because we got into the fact of medications and how heart disease kills people, some statistics, and then of course our 5 essentials of maximized living, how that fits into that whole talk. So we set the talk up. So that's the first thing really, is prepare yourself to do a really strong talk, from a chiropractic perspective, with those maximized living essentials in mind. So that's the first thing. Secondly is getting the people there. And what really affected me is back in the seminar in Orlando. How many people were in Orlando for that seminar there? Okay. So we did a great training there. And the training was getting people to those talks and overcoming objections. And if you guys remember that, we're standing in the room, and literally the person in front of you is saying, well, no, I can't make it to your talk. And we're training, saying, you don't understand. You have to come to this talk. you're dying. You need this information. It's so vitally important. And coming back from that training, we actually brought that back into the office. And it was amazing because we actually booked about 120 people in that next week for that next dinner, which is coming up the week after. So that was the biggest thing right there. So obviously, you want flyers everywhere. We just absolutely plastered it. In fact, we were talking at the seminar about puking it out in your office. I think it was Troy that said, you puke out the flyers in your office. They're just absolutely everywhere you look. So we had flyers on the wall. We pasted them up everywhere. They're in the bathroom. They're on each of the tables. Just set them absolutely everywhere you look. Every single huddle, we were talking about, okay, who are we going to talk to today about getting to the top? We're looking over the day sheet. Okay, who needs that flyer? Who needs that information? Who do we need to talk to? Because when you're in a busy adjusting time, you can't possibly talk to everybody. Sometimes you're bang, 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 great, see you Tuesday, and you don't have time to sit and explain to them, come to the dinner. So you have to do it either very, very quickly or make sure your staff is on fire that they can do it because they're going to spend an extra 30 seconds with the front desk. So, and then the other thing that we did is that to make sure that it didn't divert from our day-to-day workings in the office and create a lot of chaos, is that we actually had another staff member come in and stand at the door. So Kathy is our staff member here. She's actually our marketing director in our office. She came in and actually stood at the door with a clipboard and basically asked people, are you coming to the dinner and who are you bringing? And that was it. And just signed them up right there. And she signed up a whole bunch of people just by doing that. So to have that extra person there, especially during your peak times, during busy times, so she would be there, from 3:30 to 5:30 or 6:30 in the evening or afternoon, and she would just literally hit everybody that came into that office. Who are you bringing to the dinner? Who are you bringing to the dinner? People. It was amazing how many people that she said didn't even know about it. Meanwhile, there's flyers up everywhere. I don't know how you can miss this thing, but there's still people that get their blinders on, come in, get adjusted, leave the office, that don't even know. So you assume that everybody's knowing about what's going on, but there's still people that don't even clue into it. They don't read the flyers, they don't read any of that stuff. So to have somebody there at the front door was just, we found very, very valuable. The other thing that we did, and this was an idea from Eric Shoemate at the dinner, was Kathy actually went out and bought a big beef heart. This is a cow's heart. And we hung it up in the office. And people literally had to walk by. This is if you're sitting right here, these are our hot seats right here. And so they had to get up to get to the adjusting tables. They had to walk down the hall and boom, they get bonked in the head with this beef heart. They literally had to move around it. And after a few days, it started to stink. It was great because what happened was, everybody's going what's that for? We should open it all up, right? Okay, this is heart and stroke one. We're having a great, patient appreciation dinner, and it's at the Best Western. It's on Tuesday night or Thursday night, and you got to come. Who are you bringing? We're going to be talking about heart health because you don't want your heart looking like this. Look at all the fat around this heart. It'd be a great opportunity to talk to patients about heart health right in the office. So that was really, really valuable, and it's not anything to do to shock them into thinking, they need to be to this dinner. So that was one of the first things that we did. And that was, I tell you what, that was really worth it. For $6 at the butcher, we went and hung that up. It was worth its weight in gold. I want to show you some pictures when we got there. And actually, bring Kathy up. Come on up. This was us at our dinner here. You can see that. We had round tables all set up. And like I said, we had 218 people at our dinner. So this is from close to the stage. And we had a buffet dinner at the back. And we were able to tweak the menu a little bit to make it somewhat heart healthy, And we're actually we're working with the Best Western, the place we have it. It's a hotel in Brantford. And for the next one, we're doing an actual Nutrition for Life dinner. Okay, that's our next topic, so Nutrition for Life dinner. And the menu is going to be very specific in relationship to the healing diet. So we're going to talk about the healing diet. So we're going to have salmon and chicken and then just vegetables, So, it'd be really cool. So it's kind of like a theme night. But, so I'll interview Kathy here a little bit because she did really all the running around. But what we found is to really make the dinner work, to really make this whole event work, was we needed to get people involved. We need to get our community involved. It's not something that we found we could do to this level just by ourselves. So we had door prizes. So what Kathy did is she went around and talked to a whole bunch of different businesses about donating door prizes. So talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Hi. Well, what I did is I went out into the community, and my intention was to start a health and wellness network as such, and try to solicit some of the businesses in our community, the smaller businesses such as ourselves, that would buy into our whole maximized living concept. And approaching them with a big girl's voice, and that was one thing that we learned from the seminar in January, is again, not, I think you could, but you need to be part of this. How can you help? What can I count on you for? And that's kind of the big girl voice that I try to use with people. We're donating prizes and coming on board our health and wellness training, but then also again people in the office, like, have I got you on my clipboard for the dinner? Who are you bringing? Not Arya, Kenya, are they able to? That sort of thing. And just changing our voice into a more authoritative voice, I would say that that's probably one of the single most effective methods for boosting that number up to the 200 mark. But in terms of some of the vendors, I had a health food store that put together a big, massive, really showy basket for the first dinner. And in that, I had some items from a health food store. I had some natural-made soaps and hand lotions and whatnot. We had some books from, actually some of their learners' books in the past that I got from the Gospel Lighthouse bookstore. And again, they were on board because there was a bit of a Christian component as well. We had a fitness club offer some memberships as well. I had Tootsie's Footwear that offered some shoes, really comfortable shoes and insoles. So everything was all tied in and just wonderful. Put that together in a big giant basket and had that at the front desk. So people, again, would come in, whoa, what's that? And we say, you know what? You can win this. For every guest that you bring to the dinner, your name is going to get put into a ballot. Bring them to the dinner. We're going to take the ballots off, put it in a draw, and at the end of the evening, you could win this basket. So that alone, again, too, really helped to boost the numbers. As well, all of the vendors too.
Well, let's slow down just for a second, because that was a huge point, is that we had the gift basket that you had sat right on the front desk. So that was another way to attract attention, is because there's this beautiful gift basket that Kathy made up that people would walk in and go, oh, what's that for? So immediately, I mean, the staff knew right away, this person doesn't know what's going on. Oh, are you coming to the dinner? You know, we're giving away this gift basket for everybody that brings a guest to the dinner. So who would you like to bring? You know, and sign them up right there. So that was a huge way to get people involved in it. Good question.
Generally about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you do it too far from the event, it might lose some momentum. People forget that they committed to that date or whatever. So if you do it in a really tight, powerful, in-your-face kind of 3-week time frame, that's really good. And another really successful thing was too, after we had the entire list of people signed up, I personally called as many people as I could the day before and just confirmed. I'm confirming we've got a place set for you. Are you coming? Or was there anybody else that you wanted to invite? Thank you very much. And that again, we went from I think maybe 6 people didn't show up as opposed to the last dinner when there was more like maybe 20 people who didn't show up. So that really made a big difference.
Yeah, so that, a couple of those points there, I mean, that's really huge. As far as marketing it in advance, you have to think about, because we have a very large wellness practice, right? So we don't, our practice, for those of you who have heard me before, we don't see a tremendous number of new patients. Like I know some of these guys like Joel and some of the guys down in the States, they're seeing 100, 150, 200 new patients a month. But in our office, we might see 35, 40, like a busy month of new patients for us is 50, 55 new patients. And which, of course, after the dinner and after our makeover that we just had, we've had some incredible weeks of new patients. So we're going to have probably a record-breaking new patient month in March, through the second half of February and March. However, most of our patients are coming in on a wellness care schedule. So they're coming in weekly or bi-weekly. So you want to make sure you give it enough time that those bi-weekly patients have a chance to be exposed to that dinner. So if you're anything inside that 2 weeks, you might miss them. If you start marketing on a Wednesday, the people that went Monday and Tuesday, for 2 weeks in advance, they're going to miss it. You will miss the boat on getting those people there. More questions? Yeah, okay, as far as the cost goes, we're working with the best restaurant. We've now had this, that was our 4th dinner, and every dinner's been successively busier. So on this one, we had dinners there before of 70 people, 90 people, and 120 people. They were the first 3. And we used their standard buffet, because they have a buffet there every night. And they charged us $21 a plate for that buffet dinner. And it's a beautiful buffet, but it had a lot of food that we didn't really necessarily want to expose to our patients. So what we did is, in this one, because we had such a large number of people, we got the grand ballroom. And so we had a separate buffet. So they had a buffet right in the room for this one. and they charged us $23 a plate, all in. So that was taxes and gratuities and everything included, and we were able to pick the venue. So the next one, we're going to refine that even more. And we're negotiating with them to try to bring the price down a little bit per plate. So we had, 218 people there. The total cost of the bill was about $4,900. Okay, so $4,900 for dinner. Now, keep in mind, we got 35 new patients that have come into our office, and basically, these are new patients too that typically will follow through. Okay? So they're not like you're out at the mall and you give them a free chance to come in a free consultation where half of them show up and half of them don't show up, where you're screening them. These people knew they're coming with a current patient in their office, like somebody has already brought them. So they've already got a good referral source. And they come into the dinner and they get a great message, at the dinner. So they get to meet you, they get to meet our staff, we had our staff up, we introduced them, my wife was up, she was talking. So they get to get a feel for our office, so they have a good indication. So by the time they come into the office for their new patient exam, you've already made that introduction with them. So you've already had that first initial contact, and most of them are signing on. So we're having good response. So you're signing on, out of those 35, let's say 20 of them signed on. What if you've taken your investment and multiplied it by at least 10 times? So it's a no-brainer, really, to me. And honestly, the next one, we want to go big. We'd love to have over 300. Like this room will accommodate about 300 people. So we'd love to get up to 300 and have it as big as possible.
Is it completely internally created for you? Is it doing any outside marketing businesses?
Yeah, great question. Most of the time, yes, internally driven, but the whole idea of getting all these extra people involved, like the vendors and the people that, or not the vendors, but the people that donated prizes. What we did is the gym donated a 30-month gym membership, which we gave away as a door prize. So what we did is we actually gave the gym flyers and said any of your members that would like to come to this dinner on Heart Health, you can offer that as a service that you're sponsoring. So Noman Fitness said, well, hey, we're going to give these out to our clients and say you can go to a free dinner and learn about heart health. It's sponsored by us. Great, they get to come to the dinner. So we actually had a bunch of people that came from the gym as a result of it.
So if you're doing marketing heavily, is there a certain, maybe I should talk about
Oh, no.
Is it something that you would assume if you're getting people that you would get more than 20, you need a certain number of people open,
Well,
or do you call back ahead of time to confirm?
Yeah, they're all confirmed.
They're all confirmed.
Yeah. Because we needed to confirm the numbers. We made that very clear with each of the people that we talked to, so we needed to confirm the numbers. So they just had to follow and work.
I think another important thing too for us internally is we wanted to dream big. That was our number. We looked at it and said, we're going to get 200, and that was our goal. That, on our vision board, and just thought that that's what we want to bring in. And it really kind of helped, it just really helped. And again, your voices were strong and we were just a little bit more committed to the process. And again, when it's not really looking at a number but helping that many people in the community, it was wonderful. And again, vendors really help too. Even if the people who donate prizes themselves would say, bring a few friends. So that bumped up the numbers too. And now we've kind of
Actually, one thing that Kathy did that was really cool, I thought, this was totally her idea, is that she went to each of those people that donated prizes and said, I'd like to invite you as my personal guest to this dinner. And so that gave them some ownership of it, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to invite guests of yours that you can sponsor. So immediately they said, hey, great, I get to come as a personal guest, get a free dinner, come to a concert, I can actually bring people, and it looks good on me. So it really empowers, and this is the thing, that this is the fourth dinner we've had every 2 months. Okay, so we started back in August having these things. So we went August, and then October, December, and then February. Our next one's scheduled for April 2nd. And they just kind of snowball. Because you get the same people coming back to the next one, and they're bringing somebody more. I had one fellow come up to me who just signed on as a result of coming to the dinner. And he's a friend of mine who I've known for years, and he's always talking to me about his health, Phil, right? Phil signs on to the office, so he's now a patient in the office. And he's been talking to me about his health problems for years and has never come in. So finally, we get him to a dinner. He comes in immediately after the dinner, signs on, and he comes to me the other day and he says, when's your next dinner? I said, well, we were just talking about that. We got it scheduled for April 2nd. He goes, because I got a whole table full of people. Awesome. That's great.
And so, are you not doing patient dinners?
We don't do patient dinners anymore. This is our thing. So we used to do the 3-day process, but now, we can wrap it up in one night. The dinner and the advanced talk in one night, and then we don't even do really a PAD, we just schedule them the next week. But what was really cool is at the dinner, you just get to the point where you're talking about the 5 essentials of maximized living, and you just close them. Like it's really an easy close. And you just basically assume that all the guests, you just have all the guests stand up. So all the guests, please stand up. So they stand up. Right now, what I want you to do is I want you to go to the back. We had our staff at a table at the back with an appointment book, all scheduled. So we had new patient time scheduled. I want you to all go to the back and schedule your free examination at the back to get your nervous system checked. I don't want anybody leaving here without getting that examination book. You know, when you see a couple people sit down, and I point them out, no, hey, I see you sit down over there. I want you to get up and go to the back over there. Nobody is leaving here without getting their consultation scheduled at our office. It's that important that you get your nervous system checked. Because you can do all these different things with the 5 essentials of maximized living. You know, you can change your nutrition, start exercising, but if you're doing that with a spine that's subluxated, you're actually creating danger. You're endangering your life. You need to find out if you have subluxations. We need to x-ray you. The most important thing is getting an x-ray. It's the only way you know if you're truly healthy. So get to the back right now and sign up for that examination. And it was amazing because we had a lineup 12 deep, and 3 different lines 12 deep that were actually back there signing up.
Do you do lead sheets there also?
Yeah, we did lead sheets. And that was the other thing too. We did, you know, everybody hold up your cell phone. Okay? And so this was systematically done. So it was all prepared right in the talk, systematically done, that hold up your cell phone, and how many people do you know that should have been here tonight? And raise your hand if you knew somebody that should have been here tonight. Everybody raise their hand. Okay. It's time for you to reach out and save a life. So I want you to take your cell phone now. There's lead sheets on the table, so we had that all prepared. There were pens there. Everything was prepared right on the table. I want you to take one of those lead sheets, take the pen, and sign that person's name in your cell. You have their number, you have their name, sign them up on the cell phone. We're going to invite them to the next dinner on your behalf. So it's very non-invasive. It's an easy thing to do. And so we ended up with 125 leads. Which for the next dinner, Kathy's going to go through and she's going to call them all and say that, hey, so-and-so, because they wrote their name on the top of the sheet, the person that referred them, so-and-so gave us your name. Did they talk to you? Because we explained that. You got to go talk to them, tell them you're at the dinner, and we're going to phone them, invite them to the next dinner. And then we just phone them, we'll invite them to the next dinner. And that, again, that'll help this just to snowball even bigger. So we're expecting to have 300 at our next dinner. What did I do? Oh, okay, because it was a buffet, and this is one thing that we'll change for the next time. We had 200 people going up these 2 lines of the buffet, so that took some time. By the time we started our dinner at 7 o'clock, I didn't actually start talking until 7:40, by the time people were sort of getting through the line. Because we wanted everybody to get their first course of the meal and sit down and be eating or have eaten before I started the talk. I didn't want people getting up and down. And then fine, if 1 or 2 people get up and get something during the talk because of the buffet, that's fine. That wasn't a big deal at all. But most people are there, they've had their meal, they can sort of sit back and listen to the talk.
You started at 7, you said?
Yeah, it was 7 o'clock, yeah. Yeah, we got finished up around 9, about 2 hours. Sure.
And kind of just, that's a close question. Did you do, like you've obviously done advanced talks in the past, did you pare it down from what you normally do? Like did you boil it down to what, because our advanced talks is running over like an hour and a half?
Yeah, you know what? 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour, roughly. This one I think went a little longer because we had a lot of questions, and plus, I mean, I wanted to keep the body of the talk concise and powerful, but there's all those things you want to do at the end, like get the leads, get them back, and the second thing we did was get them back to sign up for their new patient exam, and the third thing was we were promoting our makeover. We had a makeover the next, 2 weeks later. So we were selling tickets at our makeover. So we actually had a special on that night for anybody who buys a ticket for a makeover. They would get 2 free tickets. So we sold, I think, 55 tickets that night for our makeover as well, which helped with that event. So it's constantly, so what we want to do is we want to have a real plan in place for what are the next events after this dinner on April 2nd. You know, so we can promote those events at the dinner as well. Any other questions?
Just below what you're asking. When you did go through each of the 5 essentials, did you make points that did you elaborate on less than you normally would in your talks?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you didn't say nervous system on the end.
Yes. Yeah, good point. Yes, I did. I went through the 5 essentials, and I did save nervous system to the end because, again, right after that was the call to action to get their spine and nervous system checked. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. So you wanted, in fact, that's a great time to do that, is to do the nervous system part of the talk no matter what talk you're doing, cancer talk, immune system talk, whatever, your nervous system talk is near the end of that talk, because that leads into the fact of getting an x-ray to check your nervous system, go back and get signed up for your free consultation. Yeah.
Did you have handouts or PowerPoints to go with, or just talk?
Yeah, I use a PowerPoint, but no handouts. Yeah.
From the 218 or you had, just, and I know this doesn't matter, but what, would you break it down, what percentage of patients guess, what percentage, like what percentage of patients,
Yeah.
what percentage of guess from patients, and what percentage was from the community?
We had 90.
Yeah, 90, but the particular dinner we have the highest amount of actual guests granted for Shelley Gage.
Yeah, so, and again, I look at that and I say, okay, we had 90 guests there. We only signed up 35 new patients. So there's a lot of room for improvement. You know, there's obviously some people that didn't sign up for whatever reason. I mean, I know a lot of them are seeing other chiropractors, you know, but nonetheless, that's obviously still room for improvement.
Hey, if you've enjoyed this video, I would ask if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe and hit a like on there or leave a comment. We'll respond to all the comments. We love what we do, and if the message that you got through this video resonates with you and you want to take your practice to the next level, you want to open up your mindset into a different thinking of chiropractic care, if you want to implement some systems into your office or train your team so that you can adapt and see more people and build a bigger practice, or if you're interested in marketing for your practice and getting your message, your unique and specific message out there to your community, there's a link down below. You can click the link. You can set up a call with me, or we can just arrange a time to do a Zoom meeting and just find out what your goals are. Be happy to talk to you and just happy to provide some direction and give you some suggestions. And if you want to take it to the next step and learn what it takes to get some coaching or get some marketing done for your office, happy to talk about that too. Have a good one.